Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we're going to be doing a breakdown on the latest teasers for Episode 3 of Season 9. This is going up just the night before Episode 2 goes out, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching after you've seen Episode 2. So I'm going to be breaking down everything that we've been told up to this point. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. So we are full swing back into The Flash. We've been making plenty of Flash videos. Obviously last week was actually kind of dominated by the Flash movie because it released its trailer and its TV spot right after the Flash Season 9 premiere came out. But now with Episode 2 coming out and no actual breaks in sight for the Flash TV show, things are looking up for us. But I have one announcement to announce to you guys, and that is that the live streams are moving to Wednesdays. It's going to be a pre-Flash live stream, so it's going to be before the Flash comes out, Wednesday night. And obviously in March, it's going to be the day after Superman Lois releases its new episode, so pretty much it's bang in the middle of Superman Lois and the Flash. So that is the new time slot for my live streams on my channel, so don't miss that out. That is going to be 9 PM UK time, which is 4 PM Eastern Standard Time in America on the East Coast. So translate that to wherever you guys are from, and we're going to have plenty of special guests. Paigey was on my live stream yesterday, and I'm sure he'll be showing up along with some other YouTubers in the near future on my live streams. But for now, let's go ahead and break down Episode 3, titled The Rogues of War. So what do we know so far? We have a synopsis, we have photos, and we have little teasers here and there about what's going on. Let's break down the synopsis first. So, on the move, Barry and Iris start to put together the pieces of what's happening in Central City, and they believe they know what the rogues are after. Team Flash works together and recruits some unlikely allies to help, and the plan does not go as Team Flash expects. Meanwhile, Allegra does her best to avoid having a conversation with Chester. So this episode is episode 3 of season 9. It's coming out on the 22nd of February, so that's exactly 1 week from tonight's episode. Okay, so just for some context, this is still in the Red Death graphic novel that we are currently in right now. That's going to be ending with a 2-part episode, which will be the episode after this, episode 4, and episode 5. So episode 3, what we're breaking down right here, is smack bang in the middle of the graphic novel. So this is the midpoint. We're probably going to start to understand Red Death's plan more and more as he and his allies get more screen time. Obviously he's got a team of rogues. We've seen Captain Boomerang working for him. We know Murmur's coming, as well as the Fiddler and a couple of other people. They're going to be showing up in these individual episodes as, I guess, the enactors of Red Death's plans. So I'm fairly sure in this episode, as Barry and Iris start to put together the pieces of what's happening in Central City, I definitely think they're going to figure out that they are working for someone, and I think they're going to figure out that it's Red Death. Potentially there could be a fight between Barry and Red Death because this is the midpoint, or at least they're going to see Red Death for the first time, because I believe in tonight's episode Red Death will probably show up again, but I don't think Team Flash is going to actually see them as of right now, because they're still teasing the story and we don't know exactly what's going on with Red Death and their entire plans, apart from what we've been told in the trailers that Red Death is trying to build a time machine for some reason, and we saw in episode 1 Captain Boomerang is collecting tachyon particles for Red Death, which clearly links to the idea of their time machine plan, because that's definitely a crucial factor in building a time machine. So I think with everything that they're going to be stealing around Central City, that being the rogues, that's going to be how Barry and Iris start to realize exactly what they're doing, because they will be like thinking back, and what did Captain Boomerang steal? Oh, he stole tachyons. What did the Fiddler do? Well, they stole this or did this. We obviously don't know exactly what the Fiddler's doing because the episode hasn't come out yet. And then after that, they're going to be like, what is Murmur doing? And so it's going to be at that point that Barry realizes that this new speedster who is in Central City, and they do know probably by this point that there is a speedster who is in control of it, and maybe they don't know it's actually Red Death yet, is trying to create a time machine, as we heard in the trailer before. So let's continue with this. Team Flash works together and recruits some unlikely allies to help. Let's see, who could these unlikely allies be? Well, we know from behind the scenes photos that the Hotness, Goldface and Pied Piper are going to be returning, and they're actually going to be on Team Flash's side. I have no idea how they're going to get specifically Goldface on their side. Clearly the Hotness had a change of heart the last time that we saw him, and Pied Piper, aka Hartley, isn't so much a bad guy, he's just a little bit rogue sometimes, are easily recruitable, but yeah, it's definitely going to be them, I would suppose, who are the unlikely allies, because they are people that they fought against many times in the past. And I think the reason why they're going to call these specific people is because of their expertise. They are criminals, or they were criminals at one point, and so they know how the rogues think, right? They can get into their minds, and they probably heard about what they've been doing. So Team Flash probably seeks out their help in terms of, yes, trying to stop them maybe physically, but also to gather intelligence for Team Flash. But again, I have to emphasize, I have no idea how they convince especially Goldface to come work for them. Perhaps something personal is going to happen and they're going to have a vendetta against these new rogues taking over their city. And so apparently the plan that they have does not go well. And as Team Flash expects, clearly there's going to be some trust issues with this team, especially working with the Flash. And I think that will basically derail what they're trying to do at multiple points, but I think by the end of the episode they're going to be able to come together and actually figure out what's going on and get closer to stopping the rogues and to stopping Red Death and figuring exactly their plans. Okay, so the last bit of the synopsis talks about Allegra, who does her best to avoid having a conversation with Chester. This is clearly a continuation from the Tegra kiss that we saw in the season premiere. I'm not sure how things are going to be in episode 2, but clearly it's going to be a little bit awkward, and I suppose this conversation has something to do with, you know, maybe actually being like partners together. Maybe Allegra's having second thoughts. I don't really want to speculate too much because I don't feel this is an important part of the episode. A lot of the times in the synopsis they try and list maybe 3 storylines that happen in the episode, but clearly, as you can tell, the main storyline in this episode is Team Flash working with their unlikely allies to figure out exactly what the rogues are after and putting the pieces together, obviously with the help of Iris and her investigative knowledge. She's probably got some sources that she can reach out to get more information. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the synopsis, and again, this episode is titled Rogues of War. I guess it's kind of like 2 rogues versus each other, like 2 teams of the rogues, but obviously one is working for the Flash and one's working for Red Death. Okay, so let's move on to the photos. These were released shortly after they announced the synopsis for this episode. So the first photo we have is of Barry. I don't know where he specifically is. This could be Star Labs, it could be their apartment, it could be anywhere. It's because you can't really see the background, but the look on Barry's face shows that maybe he's surprised or he's looking at someone. I guess he could be in conversation with one of those unlikely allies in this episode, but he's in his normal getup, so he's definitely not out on the field and in danger as of this point. The next photo we have is inside Star Labs. We have Iris, Barry and Chester. They're all in the Cortex. They are listening to someone. Barry even looks quite bored or very focused. I can't really tell what he's actually feeling at this moment, but I think they are listening to those unlikely allies that they're trying to recruit, and maybe this is closer to the start of the episode. Alright, so we have the next photo which showcases Barry in Star Labs in his Flash suit. So this is either before they're going out or more likely after they've taken on the rogues. And I can't exactly make out who this person is on the right, but he's actually not looking at that person, he's looking even further. So you can tell there's multiple people that Barry's talking to. I would suppose maybe this is the Hotness, and then you have Pied Piper and also Goldface, maybe all talking together about what happened. Potentially this is when their plans don't go as they hoped, and so they return to Star Labs and they have a conversation together about what's going on, how they can trust each other and what they should do next. Barry looks really cool in this photo. Grant looks absolutely awesome in the suit. I think we've all emphasized by this point that this Flash suit is really amazing. It looks great on screen, it looks great on photos, so at least we're finishing the show with a good suit. Okay, so the last photo they released was again just in Star Labs, and it's of Chester. It's a solo photo. He's in the Cortex. Nothing much more that you can break down in regards to this photo, because again, this is just like a close-up. And I have to say, it's weird that the CW is only releasing like 4 photos for these new episodes. They normally release like a bunch of photos, probably somewhere between 8 and 12 photos per episode. So they've really held back on that, and I don't know the specific reasons. I just wanted to tell you guys because I'm sure a lot of you have been on my channel and stuck around throughout the Flash's seasons. And so you might be questioning, why is there not any more photos? I don't really have the answers. But this episode seems to be like a very intriguing episode. It's at a critical point for this graphic novel. We'll have to wait and see how much Red Death we get in this specific episode. I hope we can really start kicking it off. I was happy at least that in the season premiere we got to meet Red Death. I had a strong feeling that we might not meet them until episode 2, which was worrying me a little bit before the season because I knew this would only be like 5 episodes in terms of the graphic novel, which is a huge difference from what we've had in the past. Obviously in the last few seasons this has become normal. You know, the Godspeed story was like 4 or 5 episodes, and then same with the Forces, and we've seen this multiple times recently. But in the past, I'm talking season 1, 2, 3, 4, we had one overarching villain throughout the whole season, but then we had villains of the week, and we had people that were working with those main big bads. So there is a risk of cutting down the time that we get to spend with them because maybe they are more forgettable. However, they also have the chance to streamline those stories and cut out the baggage by going only 5 episodes, but it depends how big the stories are. I think it's pretty clear right now, this story in terms of the Rogues and Red Death isn't anything too complicated apart from the fact that Red Death wants to build a time machine. I think it's at that point that we're going to get some explanation about where this Red Death comes from. Is it, as it's been mentioned before, Batwoman from the reverse Flashpoint timeline? That would obviously make things more complicated. But I think seeing the Rogues is going to be pretty simple. It's just like they're out there working for someone else, stealing these parts in order to build this time machine. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any daily videos. And remember, check out my Flash review after the episode airs later tonight. Or if you're watching this after the episode has aired, just go check out my review in general. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.